We don't have too many nice days left this year. The cooler temperatures are definitely starting to come. We have not gotten a frost yet, but I don't think it's far away. So I think this week we are going to work on getting the front of this house finished. I always think dirt work doesn't show up very good on the camera, but we want to kind of dig this down a little bit more because it's that clay gravel mix. We want to dig it down to the pure gravel, push this hill back a little bit, and we're going to actually get some stairs built. In addition to the stairs, we're also going to finish up this whole eave overhang section too, and we've got our metal. It's been sitting there for a while, so we're hopefully going to finally get that put up too. So we dug out our stack of tongue and groove boards, and we're going to start by painting the backs of these white, and then we'll flip them over and paint the front of them black. And we are going to have these go vertical, so they're going to run this way. I'm working on getting all of these boards painted so we can put them up on the deck. Cody has been doing some work counting, trying to figure out our board count for building some stairs to get up onto the deck, and he is going to spend some time planing because, as always, there's lots of planing to do when you are milling your own lumber. So he's going to work on that as I'm hopefully getting all of these painted, and then we can get them all up really quick today. It looks like some rain is starting to come in for the second half of this week, so ideally if we can get these boards up today, then we'll be at a pretty good place, and most of the rest of what we have to do can be done in the rain. I am going to point out what we decided to do. So they're sitting vertically on our wall, and we're doing things a little bit differently. So the bottom of our boards, which is this side of this one, is just your butt cut, very flat, but the tops of these boards we actually cut at a 45-degree angle. So this is going to be the top of the board, so if it rains, that rain kind of can shed down and hopefully doesn't go back towards the house. This will be on the eave part, so it will be getting hit by some rain, so we wanted to make sure that we had that in place to try to help shed as much water as possible.
Well, it seems the right side here is coming together just fine. I'm content with how tight that is on that edge, but coming over to our left side, we didn't end up cutting the tongue off, and we should have. because as we got up to the top, I think we're skewed just a little bit. The top is out this way, and then the bottom is in too far. So it's just making this side not line up with the right side, so I think I'm gonna have to peel all these boards off and start again.
Push up.
Oh, you're catching. You gotta. Oh. Now, move it back. I don't know if you can hear them, but this morning it's pretty foggy out and you can hear the wolves straight out that way. I only have to do the ridge cap area and then screw on the face. But I'm going to pause on this and start making the boards for our steps because I do need some wide boards for the stringers and I don't have wide enough boards, so I'm going to get them planed and edge glued so that they're wide enough. And I need to wait for that glue to dry, so we're going to go do that quick before coming back and working on the ridge cap. So last night I did some planing on these boards. They're not perfect yet, but they're pretty close, and I also had them cut down to 5-foot lengths just to make them a little easier to work with. I don't need them in the full 10-foot lengths. Now to get my edge glue done, I'm going to use a new to me tool and use this jointer. So what this should do is I will put it flat against the back fence and then put it on this. This table here is slightly lower than this one. So when I push it flat against this, I will get a nice 90-degree cut across this blade, which will also take out any waves or bows in it. So essentially this uses the same concept as the thickness planer that I use to make both faces flat. I just have a blade I run it across and get it nice and smooth. Now I should be able to take and glue up on this edge with my other boards. Now that I ran all these down the jointer, I put lines on all of these just at random intervals, about a foot apart. I've got 4 of them per pair, and I'm just going to take my biscuit joiner, put a cut in all of these, and then put biscuits on these seams. Just because these are going to be outside, see a lot of traffic, I want to have just a little more than just an edge glue on these. That's one. Sit here and dry. Now that I have those stringers gluing up, as I'm waiting for that to dry, I am going to go up and tackle that ridge cap. So go try and put it up there. Now that the gable trim is done, I'm going to go start working on the steps again. I don't have much daylight left, but I'm going to start working on the treads. So here are my stair treads. I have 8 boards that are a little over 5 foot each. I'm going to have my steps be 5 foot wide and then 10 inches deep. So I need 2 2x6s to be able to get that 10 inches. I've already ran all of these through the planer. For the most part, they're pretty smooth. They got just that little bit of tear out that I typically get from the planer. And I still have to run them on the jointer to get a nice smooth side. And then after that, I will be running the router across these edges to get a nice rounded over edge to match the rest of the deck boards. But for now, I've got a new to me tool that I'm excited to try. It will smooth these out even better by sanding down these spots where it tore out a little bit. And it essentially works the same as a thickness planer, but this is a drum sander. So essentially it feeds through there and it has a drum with sandpaper on it that will just sand the top off, and it'll make it a lot smoother than my planer can do. Well, it's definitely a lot slower than a thickness planer because it doesn't take off nearly as much at a time, but the results of it is great. This is so smooth compared to even what the planer does. So last night as it was getting dark, I finished getting my boards dimensioned. The only thing we have to do now is get them cut to length and then get our router down each side. And with that, we're all ready to stain.
And of course, we're going to use the exact same stain that we used on the deck so that it all looks cohesive and the same.
Well, using that drum sander does take a lot longer than the planer, but we ended up using that because these are too wide for the planer, and I wanted to get the two pieces perfectly flat together, along with take off all the glue, and now besides the grain, you can't hardly tell that they're different boards. So we're going to send these off to get stained. Well, it's pretty cool out, so these boards still aren't dry. They're a bit tacky, but we need to get this put together. I've only got maybe an hour left of light, and it's Friday night, so we need to get this finished up for our video. Well, I lost my light, but I notched this out to fit on top of our concrete block, so it's sturdy on there. I did that on the other side also. And then from the inside of the steps, I anchored it to our support joists here. And that's what we ended up with. That finishes up our video for this week. It really doesn't seem like we do a lot, but the stairs do take quite a while. Making these boards ourselves from just trees out on our property, it takes a lot of tools and a lot of time. So that's 12 different tools I ended up having to use just to be able to make these steps. So it does take quite a while, but we're happy with how it turns out.